Hello, this is Taylor with Informed Consent 3 on if Raza and Farah decide to start marital counseling with me as their counselor. And there's just, I would want to discuss some matters with them, just revolving the nature of counseling and, that they have received all of the information that they need in order to make an informed decision to begin counseling with me. And I'd also want to let them know that I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling from Regent University, graduated in 2023, and that I currently practice as a licensed mental health counselor. So I'm an associate in the state of New York, and I'm under the supervision of Geraldine Myers. Um, and then some things to begin, just letting them know how the counseling services are offered. So it's important that they do select a counselor that is best suited to meet their needs. I do specialize in marriage and family counseling, and that they're going to find the work to be challenging, but ultimately it is in the hope that their relationship is strengthened, leaning to learning to understand and respect one another in a way that they maybe hadn't before. Um, as this is couples counseling, though, I have a duty to protect both of their best interests and to minimize individual risk as much as possible. If they do decide to enter counseling with me, a written informed consent, signature, and date of signing is required by the both of them, and I will sign it as well. They'll get a copy, and I will keep a copy as well for my personal records. Written informed consent is also required from the both of them in order to disclose any of their information from their records should it be requested by a third party. So it's important that they know that. And then some other features to really highlight here is that I am limited by my knowledge of the religion of Islam. I can be their marriage counselor, but if a faith or say religion component is very important to them, then it may be better for them to select a counselor who can support them in that way. But if they do choose to sign up for marriage counseling, I honor to be respectful towards them, and they can share whatever it is that they'd like to about their relationship and maybe how religion is a factor in it, or plays a factor in it. And then they do have the right to view their mental health records at any point and can discontinue sessions whenever. They also have the opportunity to ask any questions they might have, which can help them better their understanding of what counseling is like. If at any time, collectively they are not satisfied with the mental health services that I am providing, they should let me know. But if we can't work it out, they can always go to my supervisor, Geraldine. They also have the option to submit a formal complaint to the New York State Office of the Professional Complaint. They have a phone number and an email that they can be contacted at. So, and then one really important thing for them to know is that collectively they are the client. So therefore, documentation and health records belong to the both of them. One very important tailored clause is that I don't keep secrets. So I have a no secrets policy, which means that I cannot promise to keep what they individually share with me from their partner in the relationship. This is especially important for information that is found to be harmful, destructive, or undermines the intention behind these counseling sessions in any way. And then the therapeutic relationship as well is with the couple exclusively. So this means that I will not have a separate therapeutic relationship with either of them in the relationship individually, which means no individual counseling. If our dynamic were ever to change and it shifts from, say, couples counseling to family counseling, a new informed consent would have to be discussed, and they would have to know what maybe the risks are for bringing Omar into counseling, and that they would have to sign a consent for that because he is under the age of 18. And then also just letting them know too that couples counseling is only as effective as the work that they put into it. Any dishonesty, deceit, or unwillingness to maybe participate or to introspect, to take responsibility could really impact and undermine the value that they get from these sessions. So um, and then with confidentiality, everything that is shared is kept strictly confidential, but there are times where I do have to share and disclose information. So, for instance, if they are found to be a risk to themselves, their partner, or a third person, in the instance of child or elder abuse, I have to report to protected services. And then, of course, too, um, if a subpoena is requested, I have to disclose information from our sessions, but I can always consult a lawyer so that I can protect my client and myself too. And then a component to really highlight here is that I am a pre-licensed professional, as they are aware. So there are times where I have to disclose information from our sessions to my supervisor. Now, she, just like me, abides by HIPAA compliancy, and they are protected. She is not going to share the information with anybody else, but it is really important that they are comfortable with that before we begin counseling. Next is fees. So I have a $100 fee per session that they have to pay after the session. And then I do have a $50 no-show or late cancellation fee. So if they don't cancel um, in 24 hours. Now, multicultural things to consider is that it's important that I do highlight my areas of specialty as they are outside of as this client is outside of the populations that I serve. So I don't normally work with couples that have their background and are devout to the Islam religion. The main reason that, like this should be addressed is that if there's any sensitivity to my techniques that are used, that should be thought about because this client might not be the best or best suited for those techniques and like the help that this client is trying to receive. Um, this could mean continued discussions with them on confidentiality so that they know when or with whom information is being shared, like with my supervisor, which is also why I think it's essential that my supervisor is made aware of any cultural differences that could lead to more sensitivity with them sharing information with me and then me sharing information with her. And then finally, with ethical and legal concerns, um, since I am limited within my counseling competency, this is why it's so important to discuss informed consent on what this counseling therapeutic relationship and process looks like. If clear understanding has been met by both Raza and Farah, it may limit any future legal and professional concerns if, say, they found my counseling style to not match what either of one of them intended and they say wanted to sue me. So, um, and then, of course, reminding them that if a subpoena is requested, I do have to submit that information and it will be released to a third party. But there are steps to take so that we're all protected. And then my bracketing and just self-awareness is, I had a really negative reaction to hearing Farah's experience. I feel that maybe she isn't being treated fairly. It's, it might be decreasing her overall happiness or potential to work with how Raza, her husband, is treating her. It's impacting the relationship she has with her 11-year-old son. I am worried about this son, but I really don't think he should be subjected to counseling. I think there's a lot of work to be done just in the aspect of strengthening their relationship. And even with that strengthened relationship, it might really impact their relationship with Omar. In introspection, I realized that I need to lean into their relationship further to find out what their attachment style is or how they express their love or gratitude towards one another. I am biased in this, so it's really important that I would need to understand that since my area of scope is limited, that I have to listen and really lean into what they share with me specifically. So what they feel, how they behave towards one another, in my presence or outside of it, what they share with me about that, to get a better picture of how these sessions might benefit them. Um, and then, these are the most essential factors that I would want them to know before they give their consent. And, if they did, I would promise to honor all of these things that I've shared. Thank you for taking the time to listen.